Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I think I can speak for the class when I say it really means a lot for us to share this space with so many people who have supported us through this year as that year comes to a close. And thank you, fellows, for allowing me to speak. That means a lot to me. I have absolutely loved being a fellow in the Emerson community this year, and I think I can say that we all did. We all applied to this fellowship because we share the goal of being effective leaders in the movement in hunger and poverty. And throughout this year, coming from different stages of our lives, different regions of the country, and different issue backgrounds, from public health to environmental justice and the criminal injustice system, we've learned so much from this program and from each other that will help us reach that goal of becoming those leaders. We've had the opportunity to learn about anti-racism, gentrification, grant writing, and so much more from some of the most dynamic movement leaders out there, like Dr. Rhonda Williams. You've heard about all of our field and policy placements, but what you might not have pulled out from those brief descriptions are the type of experiences we had. Together as a class, we have been able to build relationships, deep relationships with people and communities from Boston to Boise. See firsthand how coalitions are formed by organizing them on the streets of Pittsburgh. Witness how federal policy is created by staying in the Rayborn House of Representatives building past midnight to be present as a farm bill hearing slugs along. You are a good one for that. I don't know. Explore areas, and this one is from personal experience, areas that we knew absolutely nothing about, purely out of necessity because someone told us they were counting on us to help design a soup kitchen or teach faith leaders about tax policy. Knew nothing about. What you also might not have pulled out is how we learned to be, how we developed as slam poet artists. How we learned the delicate process of making Jeremiah's world famous smoothies. And how we discovered how to negotiate a night at Nellie's. You wanted to shout out, right? Today, after spending this year together, I want to especially touch on some lessons I've learned and some of the admirable qualities I've seen in you, my fellows, in the form of my hopes for how we will continue to be. I hope we continue to be people who recognize our societal power over and turn it into revolutionary power with. I hope we continue to listen in our personal interactions with each other and our wider circles of influence, and in our professional interactions with everyone we encounter while doing this work. I hope we keep asking important questions. I've heard you all ask so many important questions. How am I taking up space? Am I listening to understand and not to respond? Am I elevating the stories and voices that are being ignored? Am I understanding what people care about and need? Am I fundamentally using the power and privileges I have, however small they may be, to work with people? Not above them, not on behalf of them, but with them. I also hope we continue to be people who hold ourselves and others accountable. This year we had a really simple, convenient tool we used to hold each other accountable, and it was called Boop. I came into this fellowship excited and hoping that someone was going to teach me all of the things I didn't learn in college about anti-oppression. Somebody was going to teach me about classism and transphobia and all the other problematic systems I'm a part of, and they're going to tell me this is how you translate that knowledge into your work. And the awesome staff of CHC did teach me about those things. They did make sure that happened. But what I also learned, what I learned from watching you, fellow fellows, as we gracefully and ungracefully grappled with these problems together and as we made mistakes, is that when it comes to being accountable to a commitment to help create a just world, there is no miracle training that Shana can give. There is no magic book, not even Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Not even when you create a fellow book club to read Pedagogy of the Oppressed. I mean, I learned that this work is hard, it's not simple, there's no easy answers. That accountability, admitting and learning from your mistakes, and self-education is a lifelong path, and one I hope and I believe we will all stay on. Next, I hope that we continue to practice self-care and understand how awesome we are. I mean, you all are just awesome, like you were incredible people. I'm so grateful that I had the chance to spend this year with you. But sometimes I really don't think that some people are looking at understand how awesome you are. And I mean that's for a lot of different reasons. For some of us, there are forces and structures in society that tell us that we're not awesome. And I hope that you take the things that we learned this year and keep that and remember, like, you are powerful, you're beautiful, you can do this work. And I also think sometimes I think we're too tough on ourselves. Like I said in the last point, this is hard stuff, it's not easy. We're not always gonna get it right, but that's okay. So I hope that you continue to remember how great you are. And then finally, I hope that we keep using each other as resources, as friends, as connections going forward. Here are some things that I witnessed this year. I witnessed fellows doing. I saw fellows, well, first of all, you all helped me, because what I was looking for, I just want a space to not feel crazy. You know, like Dr. Martin Williams is talking about all these systems and like all these things that are wrong in the world, and sometimes I walk around and I'm talking to people and people are looking at me like, what are you talking about? I don't know. What is security space? And I just feel like, oh, why can nobody else see this? But I never felt that way with you all. I really appreciate that. I saw fellows teaching other fellows how to network so that we can get jobs, sending each other jobs, debating topics intensely on Twitter, staying up late discussing rage and our future and our confusion, being available to vent after an outrageous panel on affirmative action, checking in on daily goals every day at work so we could stay on track and not get procrastinating, not get distracted. Drive each other to rallies so that we could protest injustice, rub each other's backs when we're sick, and most importantly, tell each other when we were being foolish. Eileen said during our field training, as we stood before the Capitol building, that one of our hopes is that the people who work inside that building and the people protesting outside it would know each other and be friends and like maybe grab a cup of coffee afterwards. And as I look out at you fellow fellows, from Roberto, who's probably going to work inside, to Rachel, who's probably going to be protesting outside, I can see it, like I can envision us making that happen. So anyways, I hope we make that happen, and I treasure all of you for the memories we created this year, and for the other relationships I hope we continue to forge moving forward. So with that, I want to thank you, my fellow fellows, for being great leaders throughout this year, our supervisors at our field and policy sites, our CHC supervisors for modeling what that type of leadership should look like, the rest of CHC staff, the supporters of the CHC, our parents, our friends, and everyone else who supported us and made this year possible. Thank you so much.